嗨嗨嗨！欢迎来到果果的新闻频道。本期重要看点：中国刚刚向世界发出强烈信号，三大领导人齐聚北京，背后隐藏着怎样的全球战略布局？上海合作组织大力推动多极化，直接挑战某些国家的霸权行为。有专家直言，这根本不是暗指，而是明确批评美国。更重磅的是，台湾问题被再次严正重申。台湾自古以来就是中国的领土，绝不容许任何外部势力干涉。而即将到来的阅兵，更被称作为人类历史上最重要的军事阅兵，展示最强武器装备，向世界宣告中国坚决捍卫和平，但绝不畏惧任何战争威胁。想知道中国如何用实力说话？千万别走开，深度解析马上开始，请看前方发来的报道。
A lot has been made of the images that we're seeing, especially of these three leaders coming out of Beijing. But what sort of message did China want to send to the world?
Thank you very much for having me. I think the great success of the summit meeting of the SEO held in Tianjin is very significant, especially in the context of the world situation today. Meaning the SEO wants to promote multilateralism, multipolarity, and encourage international cooperation among its members, as well as in the global south. In contrast to the position of certain country, which really wants to impose its version of the truth onto all the other countries, sometimes even by holding a gun at the head of other countries. This is the sharp contrast in the world of today. And I think the multipolarity is very much believed by all the SCO members as the megatrend of the world of today, and no country should really indulge in the fantasy that it is the sole polarity in the world of today.
Do you, you talk there about a certain country. Xi Jinping criticized the bullying behavior, and I'm quoting him. He said the bullying behavior of other countries that was interpreted as a veiled stab at the United States and Donald Trump.
Well, I don't think it is veiled. It's very explicit. I think there is only one country in the world which really is bullying around among many countries in the world. For example, launching this the world tariff war, which is the wrong war to launch. And then it tries to impose itself on top of other countries as if whatever it dictates should be the real truth. This is not the rule of law that most of us really wants to live in. This is kind of restoration of the law of the jungle in a sense. And I think the SEO, which operates completely on consensus basis, and if any member state does not like what is being discussed, they can actually use its own veto power to bring the whole thing to a halt. I think this is truly a very democratic way of exercising collective leadership for more than 2,000 countries altogether, gathered together, which represent kind of half of the population in the world and quite a chunk of global economy. And I think it draws more and more magnetic attraction to many other countries in the world because they want to have a piece of this collective leadership and they want to have their own voice made known to the rest of the world rather than being dictated by one single big power.
Mr. Gao, do you think that Beijing then would view, and I mean Beijing, not Beijing, Taiwan would view Xi Jinping talks about bullying behavior. Taiwan would view the behavior of Beijing as bullying. And the United States Republican senators, a couple of them traveled to Taipei on Friday. They talked about the absolute need for Taiwan to remain free and preserve self-determination. In many ways, you're criticizing the United States for their bullying behavior, but there are certain countries, and certainly Taiwan views China as a bully.
No, I think all of us on the eve of the celebration of the 80th anniversary of the victory against fascism we all need to remind ourselves that the one China policy, and Taiwan being considered as part of China, has been carved in stone as a legacy of the victory over Nazi Germany and Japanese fascism. Because if you read the Cairo Declaration and the Potsdam Proclamation, they all dictate that when Japan unconditionally surrender, Japan need to surrender Taiwan back to China. This is the legal status. Taiwan has been part of China ever since the Cairo Declaration and the Potsdam Proclamation were made known to the world. And no one should pretend that Taiwan is separate from China. Taiwan is very much part of China. And this is the legacy of the victory of the Second World War.
So the military parade we're likely to see, is that also to signal to the United States that if it does intervene in any way, if China were to make a move on Taiwan, China is ready to escalate this further?
The military parade on September the 3rd will be, in my judgment, the most important military parade in human history. It will showcase the best military weapons, hardware, software, drones, robotics of all kinds. The underlying message is to promote peace, meaning no country in the world should ever dare to impose war of any kind on China. And China will remain a very important force for peace, including force protecting peace across the two sides of the Taiwan Strait, meaning no country should be allowed to intervene in the cross-strait relations because it's purely a domestic, internal Chinese affair. It is not a situation involving two sovereign and independent countries. And no foreign country should be allowed to interfere and intervene in the internal matters of one China.
精彩视频看完了，高志凯教授在接受外国媒体采访时，深入阐述了近期国际事件中的中国立场与观点。他强调了中国上合组织峰会的成功，指出其致力于推动多边主义、多极化及国际合作，以某些国家试图加强抑制于他国的行为形成鲜明的对比。针对美国对华政策及对台关系，高教授直言不讳，他批评了美国的霸凌行为，如发起贸易战及试图主导国际事务，认为这是违背了国际法与国际秩序的丛林法则的回归。他重申了台湾是中国不可分割的一部分的历史，与法律事实引用了开罗宣言和波茨坦公告作为依据，强调任何国家都不应干涉中国内政，包括台湾问题。关于即将举行的军事阅兵，高教授认为这将是中国历史上最重要的阅兵之一，不仅展示中国先进的军事装备和技术，更是向世界传递中国维护和平的坚定决心。他强调，中国将作为和平的重要力量，包括维护台湾海峡两岸的和平稳定，不允许任何国家干涉中国内政。整体看来，高教授的言论展现了中国坚持多边主义、反对霸权主义、维护国家主权和领土完整的坚定立场，同时传递了中国追求和平、促进国际合作的积极信号。谢谢大家观看，喜欢请点赞、评论加订阅，你的支持是我最大的动力。比心，明天见，拜拜。